The NFL draft is tonight, and the Georgia Bulldogs could have anywhere between 3 and 7 guys have their name called in that first round. So some of those former Georgia Bulldogs are going to get a bag tonight. You know, that's a big deal to go in the first round, and there's going to be more and more taken over the whole weekend in rounds 2 through 7. There's going to be probably double-digit Georgia players taken, but there could be anywhere between 3 and 7. Guys like Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, those are guys that are pictured in Dawgstruction that you should check out down below. Those are guys that I think a couple of them are locks to go first round. And we know that Trayvon Walker's had a historic rise. So who's going in the first round? Ryan Cully from DawgPost here to tell you what I think. I'll do almost, I'm not going to do a mock draft. I'm not going to sit here and do a mock draft for you, but I'm going to tell you what I think is probably going to go in the first round. I love the NFL draft. This is one of my favorite things ever. I love looking at, the mock drafts. It's fun. I've made my own mock drafts in the past, but you got to really know team needs and preferences, and you got to be a real insider to know who's going where, but there's a consensus on some guys, and I'll tell you who I think is going to be first rounders. Trayvon Walker is a top 10 pick. We know that Trayvon is not going to slip out of the top 10. I would be shocked at this point. What a historic rise he's had. This is one of the biggest pre-draft rises that I've ever seen, and I've kept up with the NFL draft for over 10 years now, and I've never seen just a pre-draft rise like this. This is a guy that people weren't even sure if he was going to come out of Georgia, and if he was, well, the production, he's going to be a 3rd, 4th round pick, or maybe a 2nd round pick. No, he goes to the combine. People start really watching the tape. I know some of y'all know that Trayvon Walker has been that good. We know that Trayvon Walker's been that good, and now he could be the number 1 overall pick. The Jaguars might take him. I know Dean Legge made a video about that. The Jaguars might take Trayvon Walker. He's going to go anywhere between 1 and 8, in my opinion. I don't think he falls past 8. So you got Trayvon Walker. I think he's probably going to be the only dog in the first 10 picks. But when you go to that second 10 picks, this is a chance where you can start getting a run on them. I think Jordan Davis is going to come in that next 10 picks. Now, the Eagles, the Chargers, and the Ravens, those are teams that are looking for a defensive tackle. Those are teams that might take Jordan Davis or Devontae Wyatt or both. Now, I've seen different mocks that have Devontae Wyatt in it, and I've seen mocks that don't have Devontae Wyatt in it, but he's really good, and people sleep on Devontae Wyatt, but he's been really good all this time, and he may be a first rounder. I think he could go in the top 20. Definitely a chance he's going to go in that first round, though. But two teams that I think could totally use a defensive tackle, the Ravens and the Chargers. I know the Chargers, there's not really a consensus on what the Chargers want or need. I've seen them mocked receiver, I've seen them mocked corner, I've seen them mocked defensive tackle. So on my radar, if I'm a Georgia fan and I'm watching, where do I think that the Dogs are going? Watch out for pick 14 with the Ravens, pick 17 with the Chargers, and pick 18 with the Eagles. Those are 3 reasonable landing spots for Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. That wouldn't shock me. Those are I kind of see those guys. Now, you guys know, and we know, a lot of people don't seem to be getting it in the national media right now. I'm calling them out right here. Why is Nakobe Dean falling out of the first round in your mock drafts? Tell me why Nakobe Dean is falling. If a national media person gets their hands on this video, I would like an explanation. Why on earth is a player of that caliber not a first round pick in your eyes? And he might go in the first round. He might. But it is ridiculous to me, based off of a not serious pec injury, making him perform to not Nakobe Dean standards in his pro day. That is not a reason for him to fall. You guys are taking way too much out of this pre-draft stuff, and that's part of why Trayvon's risen so far, but it's also a reason why Nakobe Dean has fallen. Nakobe Dean is the best linebacker in the class. He was the best linebacker in the country this year, and we saw a few years ago Roquan Smith went top 10. Well, Nakobe Dean's up there with him. Nakobe Dean should be a first-round pick. I'm telling you that right now. If he's not, he's not. And he's going to miss out on a little bit of extra money. But Nakobe Dean is a first-round talent, and so is Quay Walker all of a sudden. Now, I kind of saw Quay Walker as more of a second, third-round guy, but he's made a name for himself. Might go first, and then the other 2 guys that may be in that first round, Lewis Cine has risen. That the combine. It's funny to me. People harp so much on the lack of the production for the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, that's going to happen when there's so many stars out there, and they don't have to play the whole game. But they're talented. If they're just as talented, if not more talented than anybody else in the country, and you can't come on here and say that these guys aren't first-round talents, because they are. Clay Walker very well might go at the end of the first round, and Lewis Cine might. The wild card, in my opinion, is George Pickens. And I kind of think that his first-round status is dependent on if there's a big run on wide receivers, because the consensus seems to be that Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, those are guys ahead of George Pickens. Now, if there's a run on receivers, people are going to freak out, and George Pickens is going to go in the first round. And at that point, it becomes team preference. Do you like Jahan Dotson from Penn State better than George Pickens? Do you like Christian Watson from North Dakota State better than George Pickens? It's going to depend on the team. George Pickens is in the mix for first round. I think the next two guys after those first 7 is probably Channing Tindall and James Cook. Those are the next guys for Georgia that I see getting drafted. And I don't think they'll be in the first round. They could be as early as the second round or the third round, but it's those 7 are contenders to be the first rounds. And I think at the very least, Trayvon Walker and Jordan Davis are locks, and the rest of them have a really good chance to make the first round. Who do you guys think? When you guys comment, I want you to think really level-headed, unbiased. Which dogs are first rounders in your eyes? Which dogs are first rounders in your eyes? That's what I want to know. Let us know down below in the comments. Check out DAWGSTRUCTION down below, and we'll see you at the site. We'll have all sorts of coverage on the whole NFL draft. Thank you, guys.